A man on the subway pulled out his phone, but in the next instant, it began to melt in his palm. Within moments, the phone crumbled into dust and sand. Just then, he noticed that everyone around him was watching their phones vanish into thin air, yet no one seemed to notice. Gripped by fear, he rushed off the subway. As he passed a phone booth, it suddenly exploded, and the telephone inside disappeared without a trace. He burst into a mobile phone store in a panic, but the sight before him stopped him cold. Every phone on the shelves had transformed into books, and the phone store had become a stationery shop. Then a searing pain tore through his skull. All his memories of phones began to shatter and dissolve, as if such things had never existed in this world. The origin of all this was a deal he had struck with death. For every extra day he lived, one thing would completely vanish from the world. The man had once been an ordinary postman. One day, while out delivering mail, his vision suddenly blurred and he collapsed. Later, at the hospital, the doctor delivered devastating news. He had a malignant brain tumor and little time left. The diagnosis struck him like a bolt from the blue. He fell into despair, utterly helpless. Back home, he just wanted to talk to his cat. But at that moment, a stranger suddenly appeared in his apartment, someone who looked exactly like him. The stranger claimed to be Death. Since the man was supposed to die tomorrow, Death had come today to make a deal. The man could choose to make one thing disappear from the world, and in exchange, he would live one more day. The man didn't know how to respond. Just then, his phone rang, his boss calling to demand he return to work. He hesitated. He wanted to say he was sick and couldn't come, but the words that came out were simply a request for one day off. Seeing his inner conflict, Death suggested making phones disappear. That way, no one would ever call him about work again. But the man had one last call to make. He scrolled through his contacts and finally dialed his ex-girlfriend's number. They agreed to meet in front of a movie theater. As they reminisced about the past, a faint sadness hung in the air. He had called her because their fate had begun with a phone call. Years ago, while he was at home watching an old movie, she had dialed the wrong number and reached him by accident. They talked for hours and discovered they had so much in common. From that day on, they never ran out of things to say, talking on the phone from dusk until dawn. Soon, they fell in love and spent a blissfully happy time together. Even after spending entire days side by side, they would still stay up late talking on the phone. But good times never last. In their third year together, they broke up. Since then, he had never called her again, until today. He wanted to tell her about his illness, but before he could speak, Death appeared once more. This time, Death revealed a shocking secret.